Good morning. Today is AVYAKT Murli, 6th September 2020. Revised course 16th March 1986. AVYAKT Babdada from Madhuban. Om Shanti. The title of the today's AVYAKT Murli is Spiritual Drill. Ruhani Exercise. Ruhani Drill. Bab Dada is looking at all the children's sweet silence stage to see to what extent we have practiced becoming stable in the stage of silence in a second. Baba says, are you able to stabilize in this stage when you want, or does it take time? Baba is asking us to do a checking. Your eternal form is of sweet silence, whereas your original form is of coming into sound. However, your original and eternal sanskar is of silence. So, whilst knowing your eternal sanskar, your eternal form, and your eternal nature, are you able to stabilize in that form when you want? You have had 84 births of coming into sound, and your practice has therefore always been of coming into sound. However, because of your eternal form, and because it is now the end of the cycle, you have to return to the home of silence. The time to go home is now close. Baba says, it is now the time to finish all the parts of the beginning, middle, and end, the three aspects of time, and to become stable in your eternal form and your eternal stage. This is why at this time the spiritual drill is more necessary. Baba says, check yourself to see whether you have become a conqueror of your physical organs. When you don't want to come into sound, does the sound of the mouth pull you? This is called spiritual drill. Bab Dada says, just as these days they say that the cure for all illness is exercise, similarly, to make the soul powerful at this time, you need to practice this spiritual exercise. No matter what the atmosphere around you may be like, even if there is some disturbance while staying in the midst of sound, you now have to practice over a long period of time being in the stage beyond sound. Baba says, it is not a big thing to create a peaceful stage in a peaceful atmosphere. However, what Babdada wants us children, the need to practice being peaceful in the midst of peacelessness. And how to have such a practice? Babdada says, whether it is the disturbance of your weaknesses or the disturbance of waste thoughts because of your sanskars, are you able to make yourself unshakable amidst such a disturbance, or does it take time? When it takes time, it can deceive you at any time. Baba is saying a very important aspect that if it takes time, it can deceive you at any time. At the time of completion or at the end, you are not going to get a lot of time. Pay attention. The paper of the final result will only be a few seconds or a few minutes. However, you will receive a number or the ranking on the basis of the extent to which you remain unshakable in the midst of an atmosphere of disturbance all around. If you have had the practice over a long time, of taking time to become unshakable in an atmosphere of disturbance, then what will be the result at the end? Therefore, practice the exercise of spiritual drill. You need to be able to stabilize your mind wherever you want for as long as you want. The final paper is very easy, and you have been told in advance what paper you are going to get. But the number or the ranking will be given in a very short space of time. Let your stage also be powerful. While each of you has everything, a body, relations of your body, sanskars of your body, people, possessions, vibrations, and the atmosphere. Let none of them attract you. This is called being a conqueror of attachments and having a powerful form. So, do you have such a practice? Baba is asking a question. People will be crying, whereas you will remain unshakable. No matter how much the elements of nature and Maya come to make their final claim and pull you to themselves, you have to remain absorbed in the love of the Father, the ocean of love, whilst being loving and detached. This is called seeing and yet not seeing, hearing and yet not hearing. Let there be such a practice. This is called the stage of being in the sweet silence form. Nevertheless, Bap Dada is giving you time. If there is anything missing, you can fill in that gap now, because you have been told about the account of a long period of time. So you now have a small chance, and you therefore have to pay full attention to this practice. Whether you pass with honors or simply pass with pass marks, it all depends on this practice. So, do you have such a practice? Babdada is asking. When the bell of time rings, will you be ready, or will you think that you still have to get ready? Question mark. The rosary of the 8 jewels is small because of this particular practice. It is of a very short time. You people say that everyone has a right to claim the inheritance of liberation or liberation in life in a second. So, to receive a number at the time of completion is also a matter of a short time. However, let there not be the slightest disturbance. Simply say a point or the bindu and become stable in that stage. The point should not fluctuate. It should not be that at that time you begin to practice, or you are in the process of practicing. I am a soul, I am a soul. Baba says that will not work. The practice has to be done now. Bab Dada says you have been already told that the attack will be from all sides. Everything will have a last trial or last attempt. However much power the elements have, however much power Maya has, they will all come to test you, try you. It is their last trial or the attempt or the test, and also your last or the final stage of being karmatit and free from karmic bondage. The scenes on both sides will be very powerful. They will be in full force, and these will be in full force. However, your victory in just a second will cause the drums of victory to beat. Do you understand what the last paper is? Question mark. You all have and must keep the pure thought of wanting to be a number one. Numero uno. So only when you win in everything, everywhere, will you become number one. If you have the slightest wasteful thought in any single situation, or if your time is wasted, your number will go down. So check everything now. Check all around you. Double foreigners want to go fast in everything. Therefore, starting from now, make intense effort and pay full attention to this spiritual practice. Do you understand? Bapdada has asked a question. Do you understand? You know the question and you also know the time. So all of you should pass. If you know the question in advance, you are able to prepare yourself and then pass. All of you are those who are going to pass, aren't you? Acha. This season, Bap Dada has kept the treasure store open for meeting everyone. Baba will tell you later about what is to happen in the future. You will now, of course, take whatever you have come to take from the open treasure store. The scenes of the drama always keep changing, but this season, whether it is the people of Bharat or the double foreigners, all have received special blessings. Bap Dada will fulfill the promise he has made. Eat the full fruit of this season, and that fruit is the meeting and blessings. All of you have come to eat the fruit of the season, have you not? Bap Dada is also pleased to see the children, but everything has to be considered in the physical world. At least enjoy yourselves now. Baba will then tell you about it at the end of the season. Although the places where you serve are different, the aim of doing service is the same. The zeal and enthusiasm is the same, and Bap Dada therefore gives all the places special importance. It isn't that one place is more important than another. Whatever place children have gone to, one special result or another will definitely emerge from that place. Whether the result of some is visible quickly and the result of others is according to the time, every place still has a speciality. So many good jewels have emerged. Do not think that you are ordinary. Baba is specially bringing out that never think that you are ordinary. All of you are special. Underline this line. All of you are special. If any of you were not special, you would not have reached the Supreme, the Father. There are specialities, but some use their specialities for service, whereas others are at the moment getting ready to use them for service. However, all of you are special souls. All of you are Maharathis and Mahavirs. If Baba were to praise each one, a long rosary would be prepared. If you look at the Shaktis, each one of the Shakti is a great soul and visible as a world benefactor soul. You are like that, are you not? Or are you just benefactors of your own places? Acha. Now Bap Dada has spoken about the Amrit Vela which is a time for elevated attainments. Today, the master of the spiritual garden is looking at his spiritual rose garden. It is only at this confluence age that such a spiritual rose garden is created by Bab-Dada. Bab-Dada is seeing the fragrance of spirituality of the spiritual roses and also seeing the beauty of the spiritual roses in bloom. All are fragrant, but the fragrance of some is permanent, whereas the fragrance of others lasts for only a short time. Some roses are always in bloom, whereas others are sometimes in bloom, but they wilt at other times because of the heat or the weather. Nevertheless, each one is a spiritual rose in the garden of the master of the spiritual garden. Some spiritual roses specially have the fragrance of knowledge, some roses specially have the fragrance of remembrance, and some have the fragrance of dharana, and others specially have the fragrance of doing service. Some are such roses that they are full of all types of fragrance. So, in a garden, on whom would your vision fall first of all? On those flowers whose fragrance attracts you from a distance. Everyone's vision would first of all be drawn to those. Baba says the master of the spiritual garden always sees his spiritual roses, but number wise. Underline the word number wise. He also has love for each of you roses because you have deep love for the master of the garden. The flowers have love for their master, and the master has love for his flowers. However, the spiritual roses that can always be kept in a showcase are those that are always full of all types of fragrance and always in bloom. Wilted ones are never kept in a showcase. Every day at Amrit Vela, whilst giving the special sustenance of love and power, Bab-Dada celebrates a meeting with the spiritual roses. Amrit Vela is the special time for receiving sustenance from God. Pay attention. Amrit Vela is the special time for celebrating a meeting with God. It is a time for having a spiritual conversation. Amrit Vela is a time for easily attaining blessings from the treasure store of blessings of the innocent. Lord, the memorial of attaining whatever fruit you desire from the innocent Lord comes from this time of Amrit Vela. It is the time for attaining treasures from the open treasure store without making effort. You know about this beautiful time from your experience, do you not? So Bapdada says, there is a good number of you and there is also deep love. Each place has its own speciality, but today Baba is speaking of those from the UK. The speciality of having love for the yajna and being cooperative with the yajna is very clearly visible. You are claiming a good number in first of all putting aside a share for the yajna, that is for Madhuban at every step. The direct remembrance of Madhuban becomes a special lift. In every task and every step, there is remembrance of Madhuban, that is of the Father, the Supreme teacher, the supreme soul, the Father's study, the Father's Brahma Bhojan, and meeting the Father. Madhuban automatically reminds you of the Father. Wherever you live, to remember Madhuban means to have special love which becomes a lift. You are then liberated from making effort to climb up. You just put the switch on and arrive there in a second. Bab Dada doesn't want other diamonds or pearls. For the Father, even something tiny that is given with love is like a jewel. This is why the uncooked rice of Sudama has been remembered. The meaning of that is, even with a tiny needle, tiny thing, you remember Madhuban with love. So that too becomes an invaluable jewel. Because the value is in the love. The value is of love. If someone gives quite a lot of something but without love, that is not accumulated. Whereas if you give even a little with love, then multi-million fold is accumulated. So the Father likes it when there is love. So the speciality of those from the UK is that they have had love for the yajna and have been cooperating with the yajna from the beginning. This is also easy yoga. Cooperation is easy yoga. When you have a thought of cooperating, it is the Father you remember, is it not? So those who are cooperative automatically become easy yogis. You have yoga with the Father and with Madhuban, that is with Bab Dada. So even those who become cooperative claim a good number in the subject of easy yoga. The Father loves cooperation from the heart. Underline this line. Father loves cooperation from the heart. This is why the memorial, the Dilwala temple, is built here, that is at Mount Abu. So the Father, the conqueror of hearts, loves love from the heart and cooperation from the heart. Those with small hearts become happy with small deals, whereas those with big hearts make unlimited deals. The foundation is a big heart, and so the growth is also very big. You must have seen some trees where even the branches become like the trunk. So the trunk and the branches have emerged from the foundation of the UK. Now even those branches have become trunks and branches are emerging from those trunks. For instance, Australia, America, Europe, and Africa emerged. All have become trunks, and the branches from each of the trunks are also growing very well because the foundation becomes strong with the water of love and cooperation. This is why the growth is good and the fruit is also good. Acha. Blessings. May you be humble hearted and by renouncing the consciousness of the body, be free from anger. I repeat, may you be humble hearted and by renouncing the consciousness of the body, be free from anger. Explanation. The children who renounce the body consciousness can never get angry because there are two reasons for getting angry. First, when someone tells lies. Second, when someone causes defamation. These two things give birth to anger. In such situations, with the blessings of being humble hearted, have mercy on those who defame you, embrace those who insult you. Underline the word, embrace those who insult you, have mercy on those who defame you. Consider those who defame you to be your friends, and it would then be said to be a wonder. When you show such transformation, you will be revealed to the world. Your true potential will come to the front. Slogan. In order to experience pleasure, renounce any dependency on Maya and become free. I repeat, in order to experience pleasure, renounce any dependency on Maya and become free. Cha Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Today's pledge: I, the child of the ocean of love, ocean of peace, ocean of silence, I take a pledge today that now onwards I will practice being in the stage of silence in a second. I will practice to be in my eternal form and eternal sanskar, eternal stage in a second, and in the process of doing so, I shall finish all the parts of beginning, middle, and end, the three aspects of time, and become stable. I will become a conqueror of my physical organs. I will do this exercise every now and then. Even if there is some disturbance while staying in the midst of sound, I will remain in the stage beyond sound. I will remain unshakable in the midst of an atmosphere of disturbance or turbulence or confusion or negativity all around. I will not let any of my body or relations of my body, sanskars of my body, people, positions, vibrations, and the atmosphere influence me or attract me. Thank you, Baba. Have a great day. Thank you, Baba.